It just keeps switching. Okay. Yeah, now I'm talking. I don't know why it's doing that.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that again. All right. Sorry, guys. We're live. All right. Next time I'm going to try to check it before I go live, I guess. Maybe. I mean, we're getting closer. At least I didn't talk for 2 full minutes. Okay, so I got to get this out of the way right away because according to the things I'm doing, because I'm doing research and I'm doing life, and apparently people won't subscribe to me on YouTube unless I say subscribe. This is a real thing. It says, like, literally you get 78% more subscribers if you ask them to subscribe. So guys, please subscribe, I guess. Moving along, I have something crazy to talk about. And that is, so this morning I had a little bit of, life still can throw me a loop, despite, like all my levels of like, how I'm healing and I'm growing and the things I'm doing. So sometimes I'm trying to learn my limits so that I don't over push myself, because that's kind of what I did for like 24 years, is over pushing myself to the point where I finally kind of snapped in a way too. So I'm going back into healing and being whatever. I'm trying to find a certain level of regulation. So I was like, nope, I know I was supposed to turn in resumes today. The whole thing gives me a little bit of anxiety. I had to take care of a financial matter, which I've taken care of, and we're okay. Everything is fine. I've worked it all out, but I did life, adulting, and all that stuff that you're supposed to do. And I was like, I am just going to take a break. One day isn't going to kill me. I need to take a breather. I feel like my anxiety is really high. And so there's different things, and I'm trying to, because I unfortunately, during my trauma, and my main set of trauma, I was really into, it's substance abuse. I was drinking to help me like cope. And so I've done a lot of damage to myself, and I'm supposed to be careful. So I'm not gonna live on the beach and not have a margarita on the, and I want to be careful that I'm not, substance abuse is a little bit different than like alcoholism. So like I can draw the line and I can make those choices, but I want to make sure that I'm not drinking for the wrong reasons ever anymore, because that's where I get in. That's substance abuse, right? Doing it too much. And so I'm like, but at the same time, we all have comfort things that do for comfort for us. And so my comfort thing is, you said, next is food, which is why in my most depressive states of mind, I can really, really put on pounds. I put on almost 15 pounds. I think it was actually 15 pounds. Well, Daisy was down 6 weeks. I gained 15 pounds. That's so sad. Just because I feed my sorrows, and it's what I do. So anyways, I was kind of sitting here all anxiety ridden. And so I'm like, no alcohol for me today, because I'm not going to go that route. I've handled things I've done go well. I'm not on the beach because it's going to be raining. We're saving it. I'm just trying to regulate. Right. And so then I go and I saw this beautiful picture of Corpus on Facebook, which is from one of my favorite creators here. And so then I turned around and I went to go find it to share it on my personal page, but then I couldn't find the picture. So I ended up on this page. I ended up seeing that the Philly cheesesteak wagon was down at Whitecap 2 days ago, which reminded me, because I had seen that, and I told you we don't have money for that right now. We're not, but man, I wish we could go down there and we could, have one of these sandwiches, which then made me think about Charlie's, which is a place that IG and I love to eat, which then led me to remember that when we first got down here, that we went into that super awesome sub shop on the island, and that I loved it so much. And they've got a bar, and went in and I had a margarita, and we got a sandwich, and it was really freaking awesome. And it was just a great atmosphere, very unique place, outdoor seating available so that they, because they have, we knew we could have brought the dogs if we wanted to go, but they're always packed. They're super busy. So anyways, so then I think about them, because I also know that you can place orders with them. And I was going to see how much the stuff was, and maybe we just drive over and pick up a sandwich, because, I'm feeding my problems if it's not going to rain. I think we're past the point of rain now, like we're way past that, but that's because we didn't order a sandwich. We put in an application. Apparently they put up a thing and they started hiring just days ago. And when I ended up on it on Facebook, my ideas of not applying for jobs today went right out the window when I saw that they are looking for all positions. And I put it in and I said, I'm actively seeking a bar back position to gain experience in that area. Told them about my qualifications and everything. And yeah, so now I applied for a job.
Let's go.
Since 2009, I've done volunteer work, and I have been a stay-at-home caregiver. And now it's time for me, like we've all talked about, and it's been very nerve-wracking for me. Like, I don't know, after having CPTSD, and like, I'm scared of people. People is where my trauma lies. So meeting and being around new people is bad or feels bad. But I know that it's also who me as a person before this was definitely, that's my good place. My good place is being social. I love working. I actually do. It's what's best for me, and I got to push through the fear. I got to push through it, and I got to go get a job. But then I turn around and I'm like, okay, because I'm trying, like I said, to balance. So I felt like I had done a lot today, and I was really stressed out. Like I was so anxiety ridden. I was kind of shaky. And then I handled everything. And then God just led me right to them. And here their application process was super simple. And so I put in an application, and now we're going to wait and see what happened. I'm nervous, but wow. Because I was like, I get worried sometimes, and I think I've talked about this before, Siren Squad. I've said before that, like, when I turn around and I am like, I believe that when you have prayers and when you like, or whatever you're trying to do, when you're trying to get that good stuff to happen to you in life, that sometimes our human nature keeps us from going in the direction we should, just because either we're afraid to or we don't want to, you know? And so I feel like I was led to this. Like, because I said I was going to give myself a break, and I was having a really hard time justifying taking a minute for myself because it's still hard for me. So I was really actually actively struggling with, okay, you know, what am I going to not do today that like I need to, because I need to, I'm not feeling centered. I'm not feeling grounded. And I want to, you know, keep up with my good emotional regulation. I'm stressed out, but I'm okay. But maybe I don't push it too far because there's some things that need to be handled. And sometimes, especially with financial matters, I have a problem. Like that's the last cup of it, because I let people take advantage of me so much and we lost so much money. I don't trust myself with money anymore. Because we literally almost lost our life savings. By me basically giving it away to people I thought were family that needed help, that I counted on giving back to us, like working together like team, and they weren't teammates. They were opponents. I just didn't know at the time. But anyhow, no, it was like this wormhole that just like perfect, like just how it led me there. And whatever, I don't even know. But this is the place, like, I was like, I want to work here. Remember that when we went in there, I said, I could work here.
Yeah.
It is so crazy. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to. And then I looked at, because I like Snoopy's, and I looked at there and I was like, oh, I'm not qualified for them. But this place is small enough. It might be willing to train me, you know? Their application process was so simplistic because they're just a sub shop. Like,
yeah.
I'd get to drive over the bridge every day, and they're not even 10 miles away.
And maybe you'll get some discounts on some free Boston food.
Oh my God. Like, and maybe get to learn how to be a bartender through them too.
And maybe you can bring me home some real Boston food.
So, we'll see. We'll see.
Because it'd be crazy if you got some real Boston food.
I am so proud of myself for like, because I saw it and I was like, I could have been like, oh, but I don't feel like doing that right now, or I can't do that right now because I'm too stressed out. And I was just like, no, they posted this a couple days ago, apply. No. And I did it. And I did it. Like, they may not sound like much to somebody, but when you've been living in a fucking darkness for like 2 years and your brain has betrayed you and you don't trust yourself and everyone around you has turned out to be like, they were wearing some sort of mask and people are scary and you don't want to be hurt anymore. It is, I mean, I was very ready to just get disability. I was very much ready for that. But the problem is with that, because I qualify hands down. I really do. Like, by all intents and purposes, I am probably, and if it turns out to be like it's too much and I can't handle working, well, then I'll look at that. But I got to try first. I got to try to go back to work. I haven't really held down a real job. I held down a brief one in the village while we were stuck there just to get us out of it. But I haven't held down a real job since 2009, truly. And that was just because I had to take care of my family. That was my job. And it was a big job. But now I got to take care of myself. And taking care of myself means getting a job. So I'm excited, scared, nervous. I don't know. I don't have a lot of great credentials for places that are really, and this is a big place. I mean, not a big place. It's a small place. But I mean, they do some business. We have been there. We didn't get to go. Yeah. Like, there was 2 times we tried to go in there and we couldn't find a place to park. So we finally managed to go in and have a sandwich. But like, they're crazy. So I put down that I can't start because I thought about it and I was like, I don't want to say that I can start right away because it's 4th of July weekend. Let's not throw me into things like that, you know? Because they're probably prepping for 4th of July weekend anyhow right now. And whatever, but if they call me, I'll go into the interview before that, but I could start work, I put as the 7th, because that's after the weekend of 4th of July. So, which would be great for me probably. But yeah, and I get to make a trip to San Antonio, most likely, because the things that I've straightened out, I have to go and make one more trip to my psychiatrist, and I've talked about it before. I have to go say goodbye and get a psychiatrist closer to me because I've moved now, and I don't want to do that. I haven't done it because I have to say goodbye to mine because, I mean, he helped me through everything. He's done an amazing job, so I gotta go say goodbye and move on and change life and do these things that I'm doing, and I'm so happy, scared, excited. Nervous. So, anyways, so here's the deal, chat. I got my responsibilities taken care of. It's gonna be a short stream because I have a whole bunch of Gunner shorts that I need to edit. Also, we're sad because even though I've done such gaming in life today and I gotta wait and see what happens, at the same time, that's nerve-wracking all on its own, and I can't drive Daisy right now unless I put her roof on, and that's just not gonna happen because she doesn't like to, she's a topless girl. If we can help it, I am looking to buy, I just want to buy a car cover for her so that when I do go places that, if I'm going to go to work, I don't want to have to put a freaking roof on for all of that. But what if it rains? I just rather throw a tarp over her.
The tarp.
Yeah, that could just easily come off. Either that or eventually, she's going to need one of those really awesome convertible tops that doesn't require a fucking team to take her roof on and off. So, life is good.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Life is going very well. That's one thing I was going to talk about. One thing I was going to talk about is I was talking this morning about, with your dad actually, about how you guys are going to be moving and how this is going to be my, just me doing me and how I'm going to get back to this. And I was telling him, I was like, it's gotten to a point where I've raised the kids for so long and they're adults because I'm the adults chat. The adult kids are the 3 adult children that live with me are going to be moving out. And I will be spending some much needed time focusing on my youngest, and he's going to stay with me. And we'll be our families will be living in, we're going to go from being homeless to having 2 places as a family, because that's what we still are. We're still a family. And so, but I'm going to have my own place and I'm going to do me for a while here down in the coast. And so, but we're working on, it's a weird dynamic. I can't even describe it to you. You'd think that there'd be all this hostile animosity. A lot of things have happened, but actually our family is super strong, and super awesome. So, but here's the deal. My job has been raising the kids. It's hard for me not to I can't focus on myself when I'm so busy focusing on them, for one. My middle son, who has autism, there comes a point in time that I've realized that when you become a caregiver of a special needs child, if you really want them to be their best, you have to be able to push them out of the nest too. But he's not capable of living on his own. He may never be. But at the same time, he's not reaching his maximum potential being around me because it's been so many years, of me taking care of him that there's some things that I just opt to do for him that he probably is capable of learning to do on his own. And obviously, I always said, he may reach a point where I have to put him in some sort of special needs home, but he's not going to need that because we're a family and we're going to work this out together. So he's going to go live with his brother and his dad and his cousin. And they're all going to work, and that's going to be great because there's certain things I can just down to training boys to be boys when even though I've been married for 24 years, my husband was a truck driver. So, I did everything and it's just it's just that time. It breaks my heart. It makes me super emotional. I don't know how I'm going to survive it. I can't believe it's happening. But at the same time, I was, as I was telling your dad this morning, we've reached a point where that's what's best for everyone, whether I want it or feel good about it or not. We're just at that point where this is the next step in life. So all of us can be our best people and we can still do it together as a family. But the best thing right now, and I want to be very careful how I say this, but we know I'm real raw and uncensored over here. But the thing is that we have a special needs family. We have my nephew is autistic. My middle son is autistic. I'm pretty sure, even though my ex-husband is Aspergian, he would qualify for autism if he had gotten a diagnosis. But in our day and age, that didn't exist. And then we've got another Aspergian. So my youngest and I are the only ones, and we have attention deficit, but overall, aside of, we're not on the spectrum. And there's a lot of things that go into, the special needs family dynamic where those of us who have more neurotypical emotional needs, I want to be specific, it's mostly emotional needs, it can get really heavy. And after everything we've been through, the youngest and I need a minute to be neurotypical, which is hard because we understand our family struggles and we understand, and so, like when a typical person might just be annoyed with a sibling, we have a different level of like reaction and acceptance. But it takes self-regulation, it takes love, it takes all kinds of things, it takes energy. And it's not that, of course it's all worth it, but it's hard. And sometimes I think that being able to heal, we have to be able to set that on the back burner for a minute. And I think that's one of the beautiful things. Like we're still going to be getting together as family and having our holidays together and, and I'm going to go get the kids, bring them down to the coast every 3 weeks. And, why would I want to go up there and stay too long? But I'm sure it'll happen. But the idea will be that we kind of start living, we're not super, super far apart, but we start living our own lives because it's just time and it's hard. And then maybe after we've all learned how to be self-sufficient in our own manners, I wouldn't be surprised because we're such a close family if we all end up living together anyway, in separate dwellings on a large piece of property. No, but but this is life. This is life. So life is happening and it's scary and it's hard, and coming out of what I've just come out of, it's like, oh my God, like, can I even do it? Like, it makes me really emotional to think about the fact that IG is going to be, 3 hours away from me and then that he's being responsible for his, brother, because we've just all family meeting. This is what family really is. People say you should just do things because they're family. I'm not on that. But when you are family and you're working in a healthy, non-toxic dynamic, and you can respect one another, and it is a good thing. Families come in all different shapes and forms, and I've always believed that. And so our family is still very much a family. It got blown apart, but we're rebuilding it, and this time we're going to try to do it right from the ground up, though, and that entails going back to square one in a lot of areas. It's what's necessary. And in others, it is necessary to change things that we have gotten comfortable and complacent doing in order to each be our own best individual. And then it entails having a certain level of respect for one another, understanding what each of our needs are. I understand that, my ex-husband needs to, he's a truck driver. That's where he's comfortable. But he also needs family and I need to be by the ocean, and he's not going to get as much, he can't pop in. We see him like once every couple months right now. Him being surrounded by the family being away from me because I just do too much, and I'm just like, I can't stop. I can stop. I'm sure I could stop, but it's going to be a long road, and this will be easier. From me just taking over and trying to do things for the family and help them and take care of them because they need to learn how to do it themselves. That's what happened. I had spent so much time taking care of my family that when trauma hit and took my brain out and it was non-functionable, the family, like IG was the only one that could step up and do anything because I literally had trained him because I had trauma of a child from losing my mother, and because my mother died when she was 41 years old, 2 months and 10 days. Okay. There was no way I was going to make it past that. And so most likely, this is just the way life goes, right? So and just from the time he probably, and I'm not, I'm not perfect, but I raised him to be able to understand he had the right information, but it was a whole hell of a lot to drop in his lap when my brain actually did break. And one of the first things he said to me when we as we started settling down and, whatever for that year after is he said, I thought that I understood what you did, but I had never had to be in your shoes. And he had a very eye-opening experience, and it was a beautiful thing that he told me that he appreciates everything I've done and that he knows how hard I've worked to maintain our family. But also it's kind of overzealously is what put me in the position too, because there's only so much a person can take. So why I wasn't helping my family learn how to take care of themselves more instead of just taking care of them, I actually did them a disservice. It was a huge part of my trauma, trying to accept that I made this mess because I didn't push them to be their best people. And that's my job as a mother, as a wife, as a, my job is not to do what I want to do or what makes, and I thought I was being nice, but I wasn't doing what was best in a lot of regard. And so now that I know that, I have to own that, and then I have to do that. because if you don't learn from your mistakes and you just continue doing them, what is it Einstein says? Repeating the same action and expecting different outcomes, is the definition of insanity. I think something like that.
Yeah.
We have to change things up no matter how much we like it or don't, and it is hard. And coming out of a mental illness, well, I say coming out, but I'm gonna have CPTSD forever. I mean, I may as well just accept that. But like knowing that I have it, so it's like underlying, and like knowing that I have to do certain things in order to manage and maintain it. I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself in the best manner possible in order to achieve that goal. And whether I like it or not, being completely on my own eventually is the goal. And that will be what I have to do. I have to at least be able to live on my own, even if our families are family and I just need my own space. I need my own place and I need my own security. And that's what will make me the best person I can be, is to not have to rely on anybody for a while. And even down to, hey, IG, will you go get me this? I need all of that gone. I need to, just be forced to not worry about anybody else. Because the only reason I ask for help is because I've usually spent all my energy worrying about everybody else. I can worry about myself and focus on myself and get better and be a better person and have a more secure future and do all of the things that need to do and live my life dreams and still maintain. My hopes are still maintain our family in some form, but just in a different way. So yeah. So that's what's up, chat. That's what we're doing. Again, if you're watching me over on YouTube, hey, please subscribe, because I guess nobody does it unless I ask. That's what I'm doing, reading and studying on marketing, and they're just like, this one thing will get you more subscribers. Ask. I'm like, oh, it feels weird. It feels weird, but I guess, I need them. So, you can help me out, guys, by just subscribing on YouTube, following on Facebook, following on the stream. All of these things really do. I sound like I'm being sarcastic, but it really is like, that's how people find me. And I need to find my people who want to care about what I have to say. So, with that daily podcast, we're not doing anything super exciting, but I got all these Gunner shorts. I got to go at it because apparently YouTube just wants more Gunner. So I have them and I need to do them. And I haven't done them yet because I've been working on the podcast. So we're going to keep the podcast super short. And all right, Siren Squad. I can't even say it. Siren Squad. It is such a good thing. And I'm going to make a t-shirt. And hopefully this one won't get copyrighted. But anyways, guys, no. I hope you feel as triumphant in your day today as I do. And whatever you've done today, pat yourself on the back, take a deep breath, and congratulate yourself. Because congratulations, you're still here. We'll see y'all tomorrow.